So you're ready for a day at Disneyland, California. There's so much to do in so little time. So where do you start? In this video, I'll show you how to maximize rides while also enjoying the great food and fun available at Disneyland, California. So let's go. Let's first by saying that this is geared towards when you have a full day at Disneyland. You paid a lot of money for those park tickets and you want to maximize that value. So if you're getting in the day before or check into your hotel in the afternoon, it might be worth hanging out in downtown Disney. It's perfectly free, there's plenty of things to see and do and eat, and you might even see a celebrity or two. I have an entire other video talking about how to downtown Disney, and I'll put the links in the description below. But here we're preparing for Disneyland, so let's get plenty of sleep and be ready to go early in the morning. All right, it's 6:30 in the morning. We just woke up and you can see the sun just came up. It's still a little bit dark outside and rather empty right now. There's a little bit of traffic, but this is about the time we wake up and get ready to go. Now for our hotel, there is a breakfast buffet, so we're gonna grab that. It's around 6:45. You can see there's a nice spread of pastries and stuff, some eggs, sausage, those types of things. Normally I'm here just to grab my morning cup of coffee, but if you need to fuel up, this is the perfect time to do so. There'll be plenty of walking during the day, and you definitely don't want to go without energy. All right, it's just a little bit after 7. Got my morning cup of coffee, ready to go. We're crossing the street. This is Harbor Boulevard from our hotel and entering the Disneyland Resort. Now here I'll just mention briefly that there's not really one way to do Disneyland. It really depends. It depends on the time of year, what rides you're interested in, your personal vacation style, who's in your family, do you have a small kid? But overall, I would say the early bird does get the worm. There's really no downside in getting to the park as early as possible. The other important tip is to ensure you have great walking shoes. You're going to do a lot of walking at the park, either it's to the park or inside the park, and you definitely don't want to get blisters, which could ruin your day. So here we are heading toward Disneyland Park, and that is towards the right coming in. You have to first go through security, so they're going to check through any bags and go through a metal detector. Once through security, now you can head towards whichever park you're going to. Today we're going to Disneyland Park, and Disney California Adventure is just on the other side, so they're very close to each other. Now, I generally don't get the park hopper, as I like to maximize a single park in a day, and here I'm only spending one day at the park. So if you have multiple days, your travel style could be a little different. Also, I'm coming during a time of year where they have the Halloween decorations up, which I really like. It's really cool to see all the creative decorations that they have with the Disney characters and the Halloween theme. So it's about 7:15 and you can see the lines already forming in front of the gates. And this is where we'll wait a while. Today they don't open the gates until about 7:30, so we have some time to kill. So another tip is to have some iPhone apps or some games or some kind of entertainment, as there will be times to wait in line, whether outside the park or inside the park. It's also nice to have brought that cup of coffee or a drink as you're waiting in line. Sometimes you get thirsty. It's good to just have some hydration with you. Now, once you're let in the park, this is where Challenge of Temptations starts. We make a beeline straight to where we need to go for rope drop. It's so tempting to take pictures at the rail station, but no, let's not do that right now. Go straight through the gates and down Main Street. And here's where there's going to be even more temptation to stop and take pictures. But no, we got to keep going. There'll be plenty of time later in the day to come back and take those memorable pictures. Now here I'll mention there's 3 options where you can go, depending on what rides you like. If Space Mountain and Star Tours are your jam, that's towards the right, going towards Tomorrowland. And that's my go-to. However, if you're more into Peter Pan or the Snow White dark rides, then you go towards the middle and through the castle. And lastly, there's a group that likes to head straight to Star Wars Land, either for Smuggler's Run or Rise of Resistance. However, given our style, I'll show you a little later why that is not the preferred method. So here we're heading towards the rope near Tomorrowland. So this is going to be on the right. You can see as people are starting to line up here, getting ready for that 8 o'clock rope drop. Now here you can see I'm towards the front where Carlos, the cast member, is taking good care of us and watching the line to get in. But also how many people have piled on behind me since I got here. So if you're even a few minutes later, you will be in the back of this mass mob. And also, if you are wondering, there are people as part of the Magic Mornings. So those are people that stay in the Disneyland hotels that are allowed in the park 30 minutes earlier. So those are the folks walking in. However, even so, we're only about 10 minutes from rope drop. So you can see that Magic Morning, they only get a few minutes extra compared to the rest of the crowd. So I got to the front of the line around 7:40 to 7:42, and now it's 5 minutes till 8. So you can see how many people have packed on in just a matter of 10 to 15 minutes. Hey, and look, there's Minnie. You can get your pictures here with her right now. And here we go, let's get ready. 2 points. You cannot run, so you need to walk with purpose. Speed walk if you need to, but you cannot run. And 2, make sure you have good walking shoes. So flip-flops, I've seen flip-flops lost, and if you lose a flip-flop, it's gonna be very hard to go back and get it, as you're gonna be the salmon swimming upstream. It's 8 o'clock, so here we go. We're gonna head straight towards Space Mountain. If you're not into Space Mountain, Star Tours is a good place to start as well. But if you are into Space Mountain, that's the first place you want to get to. We got some professional speedwalkers here. Almost there. We see the entrance to Space Mountain. Down the long hallway. There's no turning back now. While the sign does say a standby wait of about 5 minutes, it's pretty much a walk-on at this time of day. While you do have to go through the chains, there are no switchbacks to go back and forth. It's pretty much a straight shot directly to the ride.
I don't like heights.
4. And here we are in the main bay. We have not stopped walking since the rope drop, so it is basically a straight walk on into the ride of Space Mountain. We can finally catch our breath as they are loading up the car before us. Here we go, it's our turn.
Arms, feet, legs, inside the rocket. And watch your children. You're clear to launch. We are beginning cruiser burn in 3, 2, 1.
Wow, what a rush. If the coffee didn't do it, this ride sure does wake you up in the morning. Now it's only 8:15, so next we're going to head over to Star Tours, my favorite ride in the park. Not only says 5-minute standby wait, but really it's a walk on as well.
Hello.
Now how often do you get to talk to R2 and C3PO with nobody else in the room? And here we have our friend Rex.
Thank you.
Since the Star Tours ride is different every time, we're going to go on again.
Still 5-minute wait. Hello.
While the C3PO and R2-D2 waiting area is still rather empty, the Rex waiting area is starting to form a line.
I'd like to report that all flights are on time today. I'd like to report that, but I actually have no information regarding your flights. Sorry.
As a time check, it is now 8:45 in the morning, and we just went on Star Tours twice, and we started with Space Mountain. Just as an aside, the reason we don't rope drop Star Wars Land and Rise of Resistance is it's frequently closed, as it was this morning. Another tip is to frequently check the Disneyland app to make sure that the ride you want to go to is open before going to wait in line. So after Star Tours, here's also where I like to go on Astro Blasters, since it's right here, if you want to get that high score. At this time of day, there's absolutely no line for this ride. You could easily go on once to 3 times during this time of day with absolutely no wait. We just did once though.
Battle stations. Report to the flight deck for immediate launch.
And don't forget to flex your high score. And at this point, I am completely done with Tomorrowland. You could go to Autotopia while you were there, as well as Nemo's submarine ride, although those are going to be slightly longer waits. At this point, I am heading over to Frontierland towards Big Thunder Mountain. Gotta love the extra decorations along the way. Here, while the sign does say a 20-minute wait, I found that at this time it's actually far shorter than that, and usually only about 5 minutes or so. Actually, we were able to just walk on.
Hey, got 2? 3?
Here's our train. And here we go. What a ride. Definitely got that adrenaline pumping. Now at this point the lines are starting to get a bit long, so now we're heading over to Pirates of the Caribbean ride, also one of my favorites. At this point a 30-minute wait is about normal, and that's not too bad for Pirates that can sometimes go over 2 hours. Actually I timed it and it only took 25 minutes between the time we stepped in line and by the time we got onto the ride itself. So while the line looked quite long, it did move pretty fast.
No, the pirates like the me. A toast to pirates and its many shiny reward.
It is now 9:45 and we're done with Pirates of the Caribbean. Since we're here in New Orleans Square, we're gonna stop by at the Mint Julep Bar where you can get some Mickey-shaped beignets. There's also somewhat of a hidden restroom here for a restroom break behind Club 33. Alright, the beignets are ready. Check out these little beauties. Mickey Mouse shape, covered in powdered sugar, and during this time of year, there's a pumpkin spice version as well. And of course, you have to dip these in the caramel dipping sauce. Let's give it a try. Pro tip, do not inhale while eating these. They are soft and fluffy, but also somewhat hollow. A little disappointed that it wasn't filled, but that's okay. Moving on, the Haunted Mansions is right next door. And during the Halloween season, there's the Jack Skellington version. Right now it's a 40-minute wait, which is probably as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna skip this today, but I'll post a video of my experience here from the past. And of course, Splash Mountain is right next door. Also skip this as you get soaking wet. Instead, we're headed towards Star Wars Galaxy Edge. And as you can tell, the pace has slowed down a bit as there's just so much to soak in. Until now, it's been about getting as many rides in as possible. But now that the lines are longer, we can slow down a bit and really enjoy the atmosphere, especially in Galaxy's Edge, where it really is an immersive experience in a Star Wars themed land. Here we can mosey on over to Smuggler's Run, the Millennium Falcon ride. The wait time says 40 minutes, but let's do it. And there's also many things to see in the line, so it goes by pretty quickly. I'm always amazed at the grand scale of the ship that did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Hey look, there's Rey, probably recruiting some more Resistance fighters. It's experiences like these that I really prefer not to rope drop Galaxy's Edge. You start to miss a lot of these immersive experiences that this land has to offer. And finally we made it inside to talk to Hondo and Naka and give us our mission.
is where you come in. Himalayan mountain. Oh no, for some very vast and very profitable expeditions. You welcome my fine furry friend. Yes, as we agreed, you let us use the ship, we'll get you the supplies you need. It's a win-win.
I can never get enough of how much the Disney Imagineers put into this land.
You clear the path. Pilots, line up behind the train. And engineers, you harpoon that precious cargo. And as we always say here at Onaka Transport Solutions, get out of here and go make Hondo some money.
For your safety, remain seated and supervise younglings.
Wow, so much fun. I'll post a video of this ride another time. But now it's about 11 o'clock, so we're ready to head over to Rise of Resistance. It's also finally open as it's been closed most of the morning. So let's hope that we can get on before it shuts down again. Now when they first opened this ride, there was a reservation system. They have since did away with that, so now it's really, you just have to wait in line. Now if it's your first time here and you really want to get on this ride, it might be worth getting either the Genie Plus or the Max Pass, both with added cost to your park ticket. That's really up to how strong you are with the Force.
Our brave, but ultimately hopeless. There's nowhere to run. Location of the secret base, and then I will destroy you and the resistance. You got green light, gotta get close, don't you? Your escape pods came in a little off target.
In my opinion, that is the best ride in the park, hands down. But it did take a lot of time out of the day, and at just past 12:30, the park is incredibly crowded now. At this point, everything's going to be crowded, but we saw that Jungle Cruise only had a 20-minute wait, so let's give that a shot. I need to learn some new dad jokes anyway. But really, this is also one of those rides where the jokes are different every time.
Yeah, it's not too hot today, so I don't stink yet. Now entering the Indian elephant bathing pool. The entire herd is out here today, and that's pretty much unheard of. Now feel free to stare, take as many pictures as you want. They all have their trunks on today. We are now entering the Nile River. It's the longest river in the world, stretching for over 40,000 miles. Some people say it's a little shorter than that. I think they're still in denial. And the moment you've all been waiting for, the reason you came here today, the back side of water. Alright, this is where our journey fortunately comes to an end. I'm going to miss you all so much that I wrote you a poem to remember me by. It goes, roses are red, violets are blue, get out of my boat and take your children with you.
Alright, now that's been some morning. We're going to start exiting the park for our afternoon break. This is time when a lot of the kids at the park start to break down and it's just crowded and hot. So we actually take this time to go back to the hotel, relax, maybe play in the pool or take a nap, and just get ready because we have another half a day to go when we come back later in the evening. In my part 2 video, I'll show you where we eat, what we do at night with fireworks and all the shows, as the Disney adventure really is a marathon and not a sprint. So join me, hit that notification bell so you can see when that video next posts, and let me know in the comments below any tips that you have or anything you would do differently. Since everybody has a different vacationing style, I'd love to hear what your favorite rides are and what are not to be missed. But until the next video, thanks for watching, please like and subscribe, and have a magical day.